Hi guys, welcome back to Finpact. What has been happening with the Torchlight Energy Resources stock? Let me quickly get you up to speed. So around the beginning of January 2021, TRCH stock was trading between 70 cents and 85 cents. So here on 4th of Jan, we can see it is at 82 cents. And then we saw it steadily increase with quite a big upswing here around 10th of February to about 16th of February, where we saw a high of around $4.37. Now this is key because this is around the price that we see today. After that initial bull rally, we saw the bears take over the bulls and we saw a steady decline till around mid-May. So around mid-May, this company that was just considered more for the fundamentals got considered and picked up by Wall Street bets and Reddit users, which then transitioned this company into more of a meme stock status because there was a lot of hype surrounding it. And then people came in and bought this stock, and we saw the high around 21st of June. So only 5 days ago, this stock was trading at $10.09. Lots of people have bought in as it was rallying, as it was gaining hype. Now, the problem is around this region, it transitioned into that meme stock sort of label. And that's what caused the price to have a sudden sell-off because people were just trying to get in for a quick profit rather than the long-term holders who had initially bought around early last year or even early this year. Now, the problem is when it started getting into meme stock territory and started surging to levels that were not really representing the true value of the company, that's when we saw a huge sell-off. Before Torchlight became the speculative meme stock label, a lot of long-term holders had bought in early last year and early this year, hoping for the price to increase more so in the long term. Many of them were even in it because of the merger announced with Mmat, which could show the long-term price increase, especially because of the synergies they can gain as the companies come together. Also because of the special dividend that will be paid out tomorrow. So the people who have bought into the hype today, they wouldn't be able to benefit from the special dividend that gets paid tomorrow. So the payment date for the Series A preferred stock dividend will be June 25th. So the dividend is estimated to be between $1 per share or $20 per share. Now, a lot of people are going to be waiting to get this dividend, especially because they think it could offset their losses, especially if they bought here. The people who are shorting and thinking they will make more profit from doing that. And then there are people who are buying and instead of selling, they are waiting it out for this payment of the special dividend tomorrow. Because like I said, this payment could be anything between $1 per share, they're saying, or $20 per share. I mean, imagine if it was $20 per share, that would, even if the price went to like zero, that would be more than a profit than even the all-time high price. So that's the dilemma that people are in. It seems like this meme stock rally, in my opinion, has crashed and the real fundamental price of TRCH is coming in. Because if you saw around May, before it started transitioning into this hype stock, around 17th of May, it was trading between the $2.26 to around $3 region. And if we didn't get this picked up by Reddit, etc., then I don't believe we would have seen such a rally. So this crash is very likely to sort of, in my opinion, pick back the price of where it left off before the meme stock rally. Now, something you should bear in mind is that Torchlight Energy Resources is an oil and gas exploration company. So the profits and the revenues are highly linked to those commodity prices. And those commodity prices have been rising. So the drop we have seen is definitely not to do with their revenues or their profits or the actual commodities market. It's because of the transition it's made into becoming that meme stock. This article in Motley Fool is also confirming my theory that, long-term investors, they bought the stock initially back last year for the long-term growth of the company, not in the hope that they can sell it at a higher price and get a quick profit. So right now what's happening is the greater fool theory, and what this is that investors can achieve positive returns by buying an asset without concern for valuation fundamentals, so they don't care much about what Torchlight Resources even does, and they just simply buy it at a higher price, hoping that the price will still go up. They know it's overvalued when the rally was happening, and they want to sell to see how far it will go. But the problem with that is no one can predict when that crash happens, which is exactly what's happened. The price has crashed. I mean, always say when people are buying, don't buy. When people are buying and pushing prices up like crazy, that's the wrong time to buy. Always buy based on good fundamentals. And if you end up having a lucky situation where a company turns into meme stock territory territory and you get a huge rally, I mean, that's a little advantage there, but the price will crash back down to what it was. Like I said, the price is going to pick back up before this rally happens. So the price will come back down to the $2 to $3 region. I still think we could see a further fall. We may not, but I think it is possible. And if we don't, yes, fine, then we'll steadily grow towards the upside, because then it will go back to the fundamentals rather than the rallying, unless the Reddit community comes back in and starts pushing it up again. So again, it's not like we're basing any of this on fundamentals, which is something I do not like when it comes to investing. It's like gambling, you know? You're not basing it on any fundamentals, then what? You're just basing it on, hey guys, let's all take the stock up to the moon and woo, we're rich. It doesn't really, I mean, yeah, it can work, but then that depends on your pick and if that pick is correct, you know? So yeah, in this article, they've said that investors should probably be watching the madness and popular delusions of the speculative class safely from the sidelines. Now, obviously, if you got in around the $1 region and you're holding for the long run, then none of this should really phase you. You shouldn't be selling in all these big upswings and downswings. You should just be holding as you've initially intended to for the long run. One thing I must say is that when I bought this stock around November, December time, so at a really good price. But I did not sell in that huge upswing. My plan that I had in place was to hold it until I get that special dividend and see what it is, what my portfolio is like from that point. And then when I get that special dividend, then I can assess my situation and whether I want to continue holding it for the long run or invest in something else. But I was sort of on the fence between being a long run investor to seeing what that special dividend could offer me and the portfolio, and maybe using the profits from here to invest into something else. So really, I do think you should have a plan when it comes to your investment. If you feel that you cannot afford to hold it for the long run, you cannot ride out the volatility, especially if you bought it anything between the $7 region to, you know, even $10 region. Well, I feel sad for you that if you bought it at $10, but if you did, you know, then I would say, I understand. If you need that money, then close your losses. You know, people say, oh, hold. Yeah, but some people don't realize that people have different risk appetites, different investment horizons. You know, I don't think you should invest in anything personally if it's for not for the long term. That's my safest way of ensuring that you will get your money back and more. But if you are investing for the short term, and you need that money, then I wouldn't judge someone for closing that position at a loss. You know, my personal opinion is to wait till tomorrow to see what that dividend is and then assess, because I did buy it last year at a very good price. I bought it, I think it was around 0.65-ish when I bought it. Now that was a very, very good price. So either way, I have seen a profit fit, and that is why I am able to afford to hold on till the dividend rate. But at the same time, people who cannot do that, people who bought in during the hype, you know, I understand if you need to sell it, especially if you need the money in the short term. So I don't want people to judge what people decide to do with their investments on this channel. Especially, remember, none of mine is financial advice. I just choose to do this based on my opinions and how I view in my rational self the market. Especially when they transition into meme stocks, I get worried. It's not the best. I know people get excited by this stuff, but I'm like, oh no, meme stock territory. Now what's going to happen? Now all the fundamentals have gone out the roof. It's just kind of scary. I also want to touch upon this article I saw on Reuters, which is the Torchlight Energy falls about 30% after upsized stock offering. Now, I think there's a few reasons it fell. One, the whole meme stock territory. People are trying to make quick profits selling. Okay, that's one reason. But the second reason is also this. Now, what happened was that they said on Monday that they're planning to raise 150 million or more on top of 100 million stock offering that it announced last week. Now, what does this mean? This means they're going to issue more shares, share dilution. That means there's more shares. So the existing shareholders are getting less. So that's not great. So some of them were like, well, let's cut our losses and go. Naturally, because it's become that meme stock territory, Torchlight has decided to capitalize on that and go and issue more shares so they can profit, use it for, you know, their merger or whatever they want to use it for, development. I don't know what allocations will be used for the merger and what will be used for, you know, their own internal changes. But the point is, I understand they are capitalizing on that, but that's not good for the share price when it comes to the investors because of the share dilution. I also want to touch upon the financials, because I think this is important. I've not seen many YouTubers show the financials for Torchlight, at least from the videos I've seen. So I want to go through that because, like I said, this company is no longer being priced based on its fundamentals. But when this crash dies down, then the fundamentals will be what's actually holding the company up. And if we look at the financials, so they have a cash balance of around 13 million, which is a great increase from what they saw in December 2020. So this quarter, fantastic buffer of cash. This would be good if they need to pay off existing debt. So we'll go into that as well. Their total assets is 56 million, up from 32 million. Very positive stuff, especially, you know, in a scenario where they need to pay off debt or liabilities. Those assets could be liquidated to pay that off. This is like a buffer, you could say, but also it is always healthy to have a good asset balance. Then we have the equity. Well, naturally, we know more people have bought equity. So we have an increase from 12.6 million to 55.3 million. So that is total stockholders' equity. This is expected. We've seen the stock market. More people have bought TRCH stock. And yeah, let's go on to the income statement now. So in the previous year, we saw a net loss of 3.7 million. And this year it is minus 2 million, which is definitely reassuring because it's less of a loss. And that is good news. So something that's really important for the long term is that Torchlight have actually paid off their debt. So around March 2021, this article was released on NASDAQ, and they said that Torchlight Energy, you know, cleared their debt. So in December 31st, 2020, they had this debt existing. So at this rate, they had convertible debt 12.4 million. Then they had convertible debt at 8%. At 1.45 million, and then 6% they had 1.6 million, and around about just under a million for the 14% debt, and they paid all of this off. This is good news. I know they're still operating at a loss. Now those losses are not a huge deal because they have a large enough cash balance, they have large enough asset balance, and also they're having this merger with Mmat Materials, so this will definitely help launch them into the right direction and hopefully not have net losses in their income statements. So that is positive news there. Now let's just quickly talk about their merger. So they are merging with Mmat Materials, and that operates under the Mmat brand. It's a smart materials and photonics company. So it specializes in the design and manufacturing of complex films and other materials called Mmat Materials. So yeah, Mmat Materials shareholders will get 75% of the new company. Torchlight investors will get the non-traded preferred shares that are meant to represent the value of the latters. So it's quite similar to what we see with deals that involve SPACs. So Mmat Material would get listed, and Torchlight investors would get some money for their shell and get to keep the energy business. So it's a win-win situation for both, and that's why I think it's a great long-term investment. Not financial advice, just my personal opinion. And the financials also looked very good compared to their previous quarterly earnings. And yeah, sure, right now we've got the whole hype stuff going on. Now, I'm not investing for the hype. I didn't invest for the hype. I clearly didn't invest for the hype because I invested back in between November, December, so last year. So I think that if you have invested during the hype, I think if you don't need the money now, then ride out the volatility until, you know, the 5 to 10 year horizon when this merged company can propel the business forward. But if you invested, well, in the short term, but just before the hype, then, you know, wait for the special dividend stock tomorrow. Let's see how much it is per share and whether that will that help you break even. If not, then you can maybe decide then. But remember, none of this is financial advice. Do your own research, see what you think is best for you. But that is my take on the TRCH stock. I don't know why I was so late to make this video, just because I have already invested in it. Been quite busy with work and things like that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Also guys, I have a Patreon where I talk about every single trade I make in real time, every stock I buy, and my thoughts on the market. There's a lot of support on there. You also get one-on-one phone calls with me depending on which tier you select. I also have a link down below for WEBULL where you get 2 free stocks when you deposit your first $100, and those 2 free stocks can be worth up to $2,000. So check that out. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I look forward to seeing them. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button down below so we can help push this video out so that more people who can't normally see my videos get to see this video. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. And I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Bye!